Welcome to today's episode of The Big Hit. I'm Katie Dotz, technically making my hosting debut because they screwed it up the last time. We've got NBA analysis with Stephen Langdon Jr. and Will Barbera. We'll talk MLB with Elliot Hicks and Nick Dodowski. And rounding it out, we have the classic NHL segment with Jake Taylor and Mike Costa. Stay tuned. We're here today to talk about NBA with Will Barbera and Stephen Langdon. With the second round all but over, what has been your favorite series to watch?
Would you like to go first?
I'll go first. Mine is not even close. Definitely the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Portland Trailblazers. I mean, the rivalry that Russell Westbrook and Damian Lillard has really started to rear its ugly head, especially in this series. A lot of trash talk, a lot of physical basketball. I love it. That's what the playoffs are about. Trailblazers actually won the series in 5 games, but two absolute studs, point guards going at it. Damian Lillard, 33 points a game, 6 assists, 4.4 rebounds, shooting 48% from the three-point line, 85% from the free throw line. Russell Westbrook, 22.8 points a game, 10.6 assists, 8.8 rebounds, 32% from three, 89% from the line. I mean, what more can you ask for from two, superstar point guards like that? So that's definitely been my favorite series to watch so far.
I'm going to have to say that my favorite series has been the Philadelphia 76ers and the Nets series. It's really been a big rivalry that's grown there. And, I mean, the Dunley and Simmons little rivalry that's going on, it's a little heated.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun.
Yeah, but, I mean, I wish Embiid played a couple more games. He was injured throughout the majority of the series. But as far as these two teams go, I mean, the Nets are probably going to be a good team for a long time. But, yeah, I just like that little rivalry that's going on. Of course, the 76ers won in 5 games, but it's going to be a series to watch as the years go on.
What is the matchup you are most looking forward to in the second round?
Okay, so the matchup I'm looking forward to in the second round is going to be the Denver Nuggets versus the Portland Trailblazers. We're filming this on Wednesday, so I'm expecting that Denver will take the series. They're up 3-2 as of now, but I think they'll win the series definitely. But two teams that really aren't known for playoff basketball. Portland, a team that's been up there as far as seeding-wise, but hasn't really made its name known throughout the playoffs. And then Denver, an up-and-coming team. Jokic is just Jokic.
Yeah.
And just both teams, like I said, not really known for being playoff teams, but I really think that this game could go 7.
For me, I'm excited. I'm going to build off of the 76ers. Philadelphia 76ers versus the Toronto Raptors in the second round. There's a lot of bad blood between these two teams. 76ers, I think, have something to prove here. They only beat the Raptors once during the regular season, and it was without Kawhi Leonard and before the Detroit Pistons trade where they acquired Tobias Harris. So I think they're looking to make a statement that they can beat one of the top tier teams in the Eastern Conference in the Toronto Raptors with a healthy Kawhi Leonard in the starting lineup. I think the key to this series, though, is going to be whether or not Ben Simmons can limit his turnovers against Kawhi Leonard. Because we know how great a defender, the Claw is. So
top 5 in the league.
Absolutely, I'd probably put him top 3. I think.
Definitely.
So I think it's definitely going to be a key for the 76ers for Ben Simmons to limit his turnovers, and for it's going to come down to who plays more efficient basketball. So it's going to be a fun series.
Well, plus you have Embiid. If he could stay healthy, we've seen him dominate games when he's healthy.
Absolutely.
So just that kind of matchup. He has the advantage at center, definitely.
Definitely.
So anything can happen in that series.
Who was the MVP of the first round?
It's no doubt Damian Lillard. I mean, this guy absolutely lost his mind in this series. I already said the stats, but I'll say it again so you guys understand the gravity of what this guy did in these 5 games against the Oklahoma City Thunder. 33 points a game, 6 assists, 4.4 rebounds, 48% from the arc, and 85% from the line. 50 points in the clinching Game 5 against the Thunder, including a buzzer beater from basically the logo. As time expired, I mean, it was unbelievable. What more could you ask from an MVP? He carried that team all series. I mean, cold-blooded. That's all I got to say. He's got ice in his veins. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, it has to be Damian Lillard. You forgot the 2.4 steals. To
That's
have
right,
over 2 steals per game is just incredible. And I mean, Damian Lillard, he's just in his own world right now.
Absolutely.
He's able to shoot from anywhere, and I mean, he's been great for the Portland Trailblazers the last several years. It's just that right now he's doing it in the playoffs, and I think people are starting to notice that this guy is the real deal. You know, he's been, like I said, he's been doing it for several years. He's a 20-point scorer every single year, no doubt. And, you know, he distributes the ball. He could steal the ball. He's just an all-around freak of nature. And, I mean, he's shown why he's the real deal now in the playoffs.
The other thing is, I mean, in that series, 5 for 5 from shots that were over 30 feet. And that last shot where he clinched the series for him was against the Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Paul George. So
yeah, 37 feet out, roughly. That's incredible.
To win the game, I mean,
incredible.
It's unbelievable.
Who are your favorites to make it onto the conference finals?
Okay, so conference finals, I'm going to say that it's going to be the Toronto Raptors, and I'm going to say the Celtics. I think that the Celtics have put it together a little bit as far as the Eastern Conference goes. I like Toronto. I like Toronto a lot this year. Kawhi is just Kawhi. But all those great shooters for the Celtics are just incredible. And as far as the West goes, I'm going to have to say the Portland Trailblazers, and I'm going to say the Warriors, of course. You know, the Warriors are by far the best team in the league, best lineup in the league, no doubt. And, you know, they're going to make it to another finals. I hate to say it. You don't want to see it, but you got to deal with it. And then Portland's just hot right now. They're getting hot at the right moment, and I think they should be able to take care of Denver no problem, in my opinion. Denver has a lot of great players, but I just think that Portland edges them out just a little bit.
I'm going to agree with you. So in the Eastern Conference, I'm going to say the Toronto Raptors and the Milwaukee Bucks, the 2 top teams in the East. I think that's going to be a great series, but I think Toronto's going to come out on top. Yeah. I mean, I think they're too deep. Playoff Kawhi Leonard is a different breed. We've seen it before. I mean, it's just one of those things. They're too deep of a team. They have too good of a coaching staff. I think they're the most complete team in the Eastern Conference. I think they're going to be representing the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals. As for the Western Conference, I'm going to agree with you with the Portland Trailblazers and the Golden State Warriors. I mean, you'd be an idiot to bet against the Warriors at this point. I mean, they've done nothing but get better. They have in my opinion, they have the best shooter of all time and the best scorer of all time in Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. Fighting for him right now. I mean, they have the most experience in the playoffs. And then, like you said, with Portland, they're just riding a hot hand right now. I mean, Damian Lillard's playing out of his mind. I don't know. I hope he can sustain the play that he's had in the first round. I mean, it's been unbelievably fun to watch. So if he can sustain that throughout an entire playoff run, I think that would be a very fun series to watch. But I'm going to give the upper hand to Golden State just because of how much experience they have in this situation.
All right, that's all we have for the NBA. Thanks, Will. Thanks, Steve.
Hey! 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 Hey!
Hi.
Hey! Matt Chips here with something special just for you. Press Start! Press Start is the most prestigious, hilarious, and entertaining TV show ever seen on air. You want to watch? Here's what you do. Grab a TV, grab a remote, and turn it to... And there you have it. Delicious gaming and nerdy content right there in front of you. Bring the wife, bring the kids, bring your friends, bring your dog, your dad, your mom. Sit them all down and watch Press Start.
I don't mind Press Start, but I really prefer what a...
Yeah, I guess it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Press Start's pretty cool.
We're here today to talk about MLB with Elliot Hicks and Nick Dodowski. The Pittsburgh Pirates have had a hot start to the season, at one point having the NL's best record. Why have the Bucks defied the predictions so far?
Well, Katie, let me tell you something. Not only have the Buccos had the best record in the National League, they've had the best record in all of baseball at one point for only a day. But regardless of that, this team is blowing out all expectations. This team was expected to just be another bottom of the barrel team this year. But the lineup's been great, even with a lot of injuries hampering the team. Osuna's been out, Polanco's been out. The outfield's completely destroyed right now. All three starters are out, Dickerson, Marte, and Polanco just came back, but he's not 100%, as we know, because he has not been starting every single game. So the lineup's been consistent. The Pittsburgh Pirates actually have the best rotation in all of baseball as of right now, ERA-wise. So I'd say that's a huge factor in contributing to their great record so far. The only thing that really they've had error-wise so far is their rotation. I'm sorry, not the rotation. The bullpen. The bullpen has cost them so many games over and over again. The starting pitchers come in, they pitch lights out, and then Clint Hurdle does his infamous double switches, and the bullpen blows the game. Really, but besides that, Pirates are looking good so far. Hopefully contenders for the future of the season.
Yeah, I feel like the Pirates never really got enough credit to start with from most of the analysts. With how good their rotation is, Trevor Williams had the best ERA in all of baseball in the second half last season. That's a fact. Right. I never expected Trevor Williams to be that good, nor did I expect most of this Pirates rotation to be that good. But you've got Chris Archer. They went out and made the big move at the trade deadline last year, and it worked out really well so far. Jameson Taillon, funny enough, at one point Taillon was the only Pirates pitcher to have even given up a run in like the first 2 weeks. Jordan Lyles has even been... I thought Jordan Lyles was not a very good signing, but he's been probably the best starter this year for the Pirates. I would agree that the bullpen is pretty terrible. There have been some tweets floating around, whether they're from actual like good sources or not, that Mark Melancon might end up coming back to the Pirates in a trade from the Giants. That'd be great. Melancon's probably one of my favorite Pirates ever. But yeah, the pitching is good. The bullpen can be better. The lineup's not too bad. Even with all three, at one point even 4 outfielders on the disabled list, they still got production out of even guys like Pablo Reyes and guys like that. Cole Tucker has completely energized the city. He's got a great future at shortstop. They're going to get Kevin Newman back soon probably. Josh Bell hasn't done too bad. The Pirates have a lot going for them.
On the other end of the spectrum, defending World Series champs, the Boston Red Sox, are near the bottom of the LA East. What caused the Sox's slide?
Well, I think that really this is kind of overblown. People are saying, oh, the Red Sox are done. They're going to be terrible. They're going to finish last in the AL East. This is still one of the most talented teams in baseball. There's really not a weakness anywhere. Maybe you can pick out the bullpen because they haven't got Craig Kimbrell back yet. He's probably going to end up there in maybe a month or two, maybe in a week or two, who knows. But in any case, I feel like Boston has just had kind of a slow start to the year. Some teams just do that. The Pirates have routinely did it for about a 6-year stretch there. Some teams just kind of have crummy Aprils, and I think that Boston will be able to climb out of the hole. And they're pretty much chalked in for a playoff spot regardless at this point.
Right, I agree. I think that Boston, they're just going through like a little maybe World Series hangover right now. I think that they definitely have one of the most talented, if not the most talented roster in all of baseball. You said that Craig Kimbrell could be coming back soon. I think that would be a great pickup for them because their bullpen has been abysmal so far this season. Yeah, just I think they've had a tough schedule so far this in the early part of the season. So I feel like once they start picking things up, that the Red Sox, they'll be back to, like you said, they'll be contenders for the playoffs again come this October.
Who's been the most surprising team in the first month of the season?
I'm gonna say the Tampa Bay Rays. I know Austin Meadows, honestly, has been like their entire team so far. He's been out for a week or two now, and he's still leading the team in like every single category batting-wise. I think that even regardless with him being out, that the Rays have impressed. They play in a tough division. The Blue Jays have a winning record so far this season. The Yankees have a winning record. The Red Sox obviously haven't been living up to expectations so far this year, but they're gonna come back. They're gonna bounce back. Obviously, it just isn't natural to happen. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Tampa Bay Rays. They're leading the AL East right now, I think by a game or two over the Yankees. So yeah, props to the Rays. I had them as pegged as one of the worst teams in the league come at the beginning of the season. So yeah, good for the Rays.
I'm gonna have to go with the Rays as well. And there were a lot of people who didn't give the Rays any credit, like yourself. They had 90 wins last year in that division after trading away a lot of their good players. Mm-hmm. And they've picked up some good prospects. Guys like Meadows and Glasnow have been very good for them. Their rotation is also very strong. And I think that this team, the AL East is tough. Other than Baltimore, You've got 4 pretty good teams there. Toronto's a little at this point, but they still have some solid players. And if Tampa Bay can keep this up, they will probably be the story of baseball this year, honestly.
All right, thanks, Elliot. Thanks, Nick. Up next, we have NHL with Mike Costa and Jake Taylor. We're here to talk about NHL with Mike Costa and Jake Taylor. Tonight is Game 7 between the number 1 seed in the Metropolitan Division, defending champs Washington Capitals versus wildcard Carolina Hurricanes. So for every single wildcard team has won. What can you predict for tonight?
Jake,
Mike, how are you?
pretty good.
Same here.
Better that I'm here.
All right. So tonight, I think the Washington Capitals are going to win. They're at home. They're defending champions. They're just the better team. The Carolina Hurricanes play really well at home. I mean, other than that, oh, you're shaking your head.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
But I mean, I think Washington's just a better team. They're more experienced. All in all, I really can't see how you would pick Carolina. I mean, you can pick Carolina because they got the momentum. They have a stupid, lame celebration at the end. That's about it. Justin Williams is the only thing they got going for him. Jordan Stahl's about, I don't know, an old man. He might as well be. I'm surprised he actually plays with a hockey stick and not a cane out there. But Washington, just because they're the better team for tonight.
Nope. Everything he said was wrong for the reasons that I'm saying for momentum. I got 2 words for you, Mr. Game 7.
All right.
So they're going to win it because of that. He's got the NHL
words,
record.
buddy.
He's got the NHL record in goals, and he's got the NHL record in points in Game 7. He's 7-1 in Game 7. It's absolutely ridiculous. The guy's a stud, and he's like 50 years old, so he's going to light it up. They're riding all the momentum. I think that Washington, it's their time. You know, they win one, little one and done. It's just, I don't know, dude. It's the series it shouldn't have gone to Game 7 in general.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that Carolina's going to win it. I think Washington could have ended it early. They got TJ Oshie, so I think Carolina's going to win this one.
I guess we'll find out in about T-minus 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours. Yeah.
And you'll already know.
Speaking of upsets, the 2 top seeds in both the East and West combined for only 1 win. What are your takeaways for both of these series, starting with Tampa Bay being swept by Columbus?
Jabroni John Cooper. The man is an absolute choke artist. Jeez Louise, they gotta have to have a guy on the bench just to give him the Heimlich. They literally have to hire another coach just to like do a Heimlich maneuver on John Cooper because he chokes so freaking much. Dude was in the league his first year, won, oh my God, let's go. They got swept by the Montreal Canadiens his first year. The second year, what does he do? Loses in the Stanley Cup final. What does he do this year after that? He doesn't even make the playoffs. What does he do after that? Loses in the, he lost in the conference finals the year after that, blew a 3-2 lead. Then he didn't make the playoffs. Then he blew another 3-2 lead in the conference finals, and now he's the best regular season team of all time, and he gets swept in the first round by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Zoo-wee mama, someone help this guy out. They just signed him to an extension before the playoffs even started. What are you thinking? Oh my God, who in their right mind signed somebody before the playoffs even started? It's not about the regular season. I don't care if you won 62 games. You won 0 games in the playoffs. John Tortorella's sitting over there bending John Cooper over his knees, spanking him silly in the locker room. Oh yeah, that's buy-in from Matt Duchene and Artemi Panarin going off. Oh my God, you can have Steven Stamkos, you can have Victor Hedman, you can have Nikita Kucherov, you can have Yanni Gord, you could have God knows what. You could have freaking Jesus Christ to send Rose on the third day, come down to the ice skating with his Tampa Bay Lightning. John Cooper's coach them. He's not going to freaking win a game.
I agree with what I heard. You said a lot of words real quick. I also think that Tampa Bay's a choke artist. And I think, well, no, I don't think, I know that we're right because we're always right on the show. And we said that until Tampa Bay does it and until they win it all, then that's just all they're going to be as the best regular season team. They're the Charles Barkley of the NHL. They're never going to win it. The Dan Marino. They're never going to win anything. They're just going to be really good in the regular season. Nothing's ever going to amount to that. I don't know how they have this much talent and everything going their way, and then everything just collapses against Columbus. Like, who would have thought Columbus? Columbus was a joke at the beginning. And it's just crazy. Like, that whole thing blew up. Artemi Panarin looks really good. I think the team actually goes really far. I think if you beat this team, even though, you know, choke artists like we said, that if you can sweep a team like this, then you're going to go far in the playoffs. I think they'll take out Washington, and whoever the winner of the Boston series is, I think they go far, yeah. Sergei Bobrovsky looks really good.
Yeah, if Bobrovsky's playing well like he is, and shout out to, honestly, it's Columbus did, I mean, Tampa Bay did choke, don't get me wrong, but Columbus is playing very well. They bought in. They won 8 of their last 10 games. They had to fight their way to get into the playoffs. They did. The boys are buzzing. Torch got the boys buzzing on the thing. You saw Seth Jones before in the warm-ups. He was already doing the sweep. He was mocking the Tampa Bay Lightning before Game 4 even started. That level of confidence, I can't see how they're not going to win, because Boston did in fact win in Game 7, a really hard-fought series with Toronto. So I mean, Columbus is pretty rested.
And a happy Torch is a dangerous Torch.
Exactly.
Because he's happy. He's making jokes in that locker room, dude. It's nuts.
It's nuts.
Those post-game press conferences. Happy Torch is dangerous. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
So that whole team looks dangerous. I don't think you got to give a lot of credit to Columbus. I just think that the choke artist threw this one away.
Yeah, exactly.
Having a really good regular season.
On the other side of the pond, the Calgary Flames, who also they were up 1-0 on Colorado and then got swept. They lost 4 in a row to the last seed, Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche did in fact put that flame out, because who would have thought Johnny Hockey would come up and not even show up? I mean, I didn't, but I'm not complaining, because Nathan MacKinnon's the best hockey player in the world right now, skating because Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid aren't in the playoffs. Get used to that, because Connor McDavid won't make the playoffs for the next, I don't know, 52 years. So anyway, Nathan MacKinnon in that first line with Landeskog and Rantanen, they are rolling. They routed the Calgary Flames. Oh my goodness, you can't even stop them. When Nathan MacKinnon gets going, God help your soul, because there is literally no stopping him. You saw Mark Giordano, who's nominated for the Norris Trophy this year, as well as the captain of the Calgary Flames, had a career year. He came out and said he puts Nathan MacKinnon up with Crosby and McDavid for the best players in the entire National Hockey League. If MacKinnon is playing like this, watch out, because he can single-handedly take over the series. Calgary was in the box too much. I mean, you got that power play going too. It's not going to work out well. Philip Grubauer's getting hot. That's someone you don't want to get hot to, because you have a hot goalie, you have good players, lines buzzing. I mean, Kerfoot on the second line, that line's playing real well too. A great acquisition getting Wilson from Nashville. He put up some numbers too. So I mean, I'd watch out for Colorado.
I know, it hurts my head, dude. I don't understand, because Calgary had a really good top 9 in general. I think their whole roster, top to bottom, looked real good. Stud defenseman, really good goaltender. I don't know how, and usually like depth comes through in the playoffs in the center position. Playoffs with Penguins, not a big deal. 2 years, don't forget about that. And I think that won us that. Calgary, I don't know how they lost it. And on the other end of the ice, with Colorado winning it, you never see like a top line. Like, they'll usually get shut down, but Nathan MacKinnon is just a stud. That dude's got speed. Not only is he going to blow by you, but he's got a lot of power, and he's got the handles like no other. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. So I don't know how it hurts my head, because I don't know how Calgary lost. I don't know how Colorado won, but it's just Colorado's just rolling, man. They look really good. As long as that top line still produces.
Yeah.
With the departure of the 2 number 1 seeds, not a lot of talk was made about the exit of the Penguins being swept. Is this the end of the dynasty in Pittsburgh?
All right. I do not think this is the end of the dynasty of the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Pittsburgh Penguins in the salary cap era have won 97 playoff games. That is the most by far. The next closest to Chicago Blackhawks was 67, So that's, 76. That's not even close. Like, this Sidney Crosby team, Sidney Crosby-led team, he's never missed the playoffs. They still have the core with Malkin. I mean, they just have to change the scheme up. Mike Sullivan, when he came into the NHL, he revolutionized the game. He changed the game. It's all about speed. So it's all about speed. It's all about breakouts. And that's what won them back-to-back Stanley Cups. But now other teams are mastering that. Other teams are getting better at that. They're younger. They're faster. So they need to change the game. They need to change their personnel. They need to get a little bit quicker players. They're a little bit too old, a little bit too slow. But the biggest problem there is depth on the defensive end. I said this in the trade deadline. They should have traded Chris Letang, because they won one without him. Chris Letang, all he does is get hurt. I'm sorry, you're wearing his jersey. But all he does is get freaking hurt. They have a better record when he's not playing. When he comes back, he pinches like he's, I don't even know, like he's trying to give the other team nipple twisters. He just pinches way too much. And he's just coming up, and it just leaves huge gaps in the defense. The defense is not fast enough to make up for it. Ollie Mott is way too slow. I mean, he's a young guy. They rough and tough him. He had so many surgeries. Jack Johnson comes in here. We might as well be skating with cement on his shoes, because he's just a slow old man. Justin Schultz needed to play a little better. I think this is good. A little bit rested. You saw Sidney Crosby elected not to play in the World Cup. He's trying to take some time off, reflect on his game. He still had 100 points this season. It's the most he had in forever. Him and Jake Gensel were fantastic. I think they just need to make some personnel changes. Mike Sullivan needs to change the coaching scheme around. I say you get rid of Letang. You keep Kessel. Kessel averages 80. He averages a point a game. So I mean, you can't really complain about that. He's performing. I mean, he might be a little bit lazy from time to time, but you got to fix some holes in the defensive area. Get a little bit deeper in the center, down in the third and fourth line, and I think they're still going to be contenders for the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I think if they keep that core, Crosby and Malkin, all those guys, Kessel, you got to keep him. I would say that the dynasty isn't over. I would say that Crosby is the captain of the ship. He's like the Jack Sparrow of the team. So I think that if they keep him and they keep all these guys, it's looking really good in the future. I ran some numbers with our calculator Kyle. 2009 to 2016, you got a little 7-year gap there between championships. So he ran the numbers 7 years later. We're looking at another championship in 2024. So if anything, this is like a minor setback for a major comeback. We'll take a break for a little bit. We'll regroup. Trey Letang, get some guys on the depth on offense and depth. Mike Sullivan knows what he's doing. He changed the game, like he said. He'll change it again. He can do what he wants. He's the puppet master. That's what we call him. That's his nickname.
That's his nickname.
It's not, but we just said that.
Well, he's going to be now because he's watching this.
That's right. And so I think that, I don't know. Barry Trotz is a phenomenal coach.
Oh, yeah.
Because he beat us last year.
For sure.
Credit to Barry. I don't understand how that team won. They put up a lot of goals, but they're just really good on the other end of the ice.
Yeah.
They let up the most goals last year. Little stat for you. Most goals last year, and second least this year. So to go from that change, it's absolutely ridiculous. It goes to show how good of a coach Trotz is. And I think that the Islanders could do a lot of work, but the Penguins on their end, it's just a minor setback for a major comeback.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And same with Barry Trotz. I mean, he won back-to-back President's Trophy, won the Stanley Cup, left, turned the entire New York Islanders franchise around right now. Yeah. He's got this young core with Anders Lee, Matt Barzal, Liner and net. He's kind of rallying the troops. They came out there. They wanted it more. They were hungrier than the Penguins. They came out. They showed it. And the last thing, that's what I have to say. If Washington wins, the last thing they want was Barry Trotz sitting on his lazy boy, one hand in his popcorn bag, the other hand on the notepad, just taking notes about how to whoop their keister in the second round because, oh my God, he just coached his team. He just won the Stanley Cup with the same exact core team. So I can't really see how Washington has any chance in the next round when Barry Trotz, clearly the best coach in the NHL right now, is sitting back watching his old teammates, his old players play. The New York Islanders are sitting pretty right now.
And they didn't expect him to go anywhere. Did you lose John Tavares?
That whole thing was blown up. Their best player.
I don't think I even had them going to the playoffs. It was absolutely ridiculous, but credit to them.
Not only did they come back from a 3-1 deficit, the San Jose Sharks scored 4 goals in 3 minutes at the end of the third to win it in overtime. Do they ride this momentum through Colorado, or is this it for the Sharks?
Thank goodness that the Vegas Golden Knights are not playing for the Stanley Cup any longer. I cannot stand when Vegas is on the ice. Oh my goodness. It just gets me going. I don't know why I want them to lose so bad. I really honestly don't, but I am so happy that they're not playing for the Stanley Cup any longer. The San Jose Sharks, on the other hand, I don't think they deserve to win that series because considering they let up 59 shots in Game 6 and Martin Jones stood on his head, their roster is way too loaded. They might have the best roster right now sitting in the playoffs on paper, and they're just completely underachieving with it. I think that they should be blowing teams out. I think they should be scoring at least 4 to 5 goals a game. They are way better than they put on than they perform to be. I think Thomas Hertl is really pulling through for the San Jose Sharks. As for next round, if Colorado is going to end up pulling a good old Jaws, Brody, Officer Brody, if he's going to freaking explode the Sharks. I hope so because I like Colorado. I'm on the McKinnon train. If San Jose plays like this, they should win the West, but if they play like they did last round, they are certainly not going to win. You cannot be letting up that many shots. With a defensive core like that, and you're letting up 59 shots a game against an offense that lackluster at Vegas has, I can't see how you're going to keep winning, especially when it gets to the Stanley Cup if you play a team from the East who's just going to absolutely rout you. San Jose, you got to play better. You're choking. Not choking because you won the series, but you got to play better in order to win because at this point, I don't see too much hope in San Jose.
Yeah, I'll give it to him Game 5 and 6. Game 7, that call, I don't know, that major, gave him 5 minutes and they scored 4 goals in that, like Katie said, our host. I don't know, they took advantage of it. I don't know what's worse for Vegas, like them losing that or just a penalty kill. I don't know. You got, what happened and they let up those 4 goals. How do you let up 4 goals in that?
You can't,
Yeah, I think San Jose looks good. I think San Jose, from last year, if you remember, might cost us 3 S's to winning the Cup. We have star power, and they got a lot of that. With Thornton and Pavelski, they got Brent Burns and Carlson, arguably 2 best defensemen in the league. Carlson not looking too good recently, but looks really good overall, with his hair, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
They got the special teams. Special teams is up there. I think they look really good. Penalty kill, obviously the power play, what they did. They got the stud defenseman. Not only do they have 1, but they have 2, like I said. And goalie doesn't start with an S, but I'm going to go security blanket. So Martin Jones putting up 58 saves in Game 6. And then winning that in overtime, they basically have the formula. I'll throw another S in there, size. They got big bodies.
They do.
Playoffs get a lot more physical. I think that with all those guys and the talent that they have, and Thomas Hertl looks really good, Logan Couture with the speed, I think they basically, every aspect of the game that you would want in a roster, I think they meet all that and more. So I think they go really far, and they got a nice beard with Joe Thornton.
Yeah, I think for San Jose, basically, they lost the Cup final against the Pittsburgh Penguins because the Pittsburgh Penguins were way faster than them. They skated all over them. Last year, they blew it in the playoffs as well. But I think this time coming up, Colorado, they have to slow down Colorado. Colorado is way too fast for them, and if you can't keep up with speed, I mean, Vegas is not that fast. Vegas is not a fast team, especially teams in the West. But Colorado coming in here being the quickest team in the Western Conference, I'd look out. Philip Grubauer, get him hot. He's going to be playing like Fleury. It's going to be a good series. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, that'll be between Grubauer and Jones. That'll be good to see. I think Carlson's got to step it up a little bit. Like I said, after that injury, wasn't playing like up to Carlson's level. And Ottawa, it was absolutely crazy in that playoffs in 2016. Goaltenders usually take series, but this was like the only guy that could single-handedly take a series himself when he was on the ice with the puck as a defenseman. I think we need that Erik Karlsson back, and I think they could go really far.
Yeah, same here.
All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you, Katie.
We'll see you next time.